Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Broken Sword 5, the Serpent's Curse. Let's continue. Haven't really seen the Serpent yet. So we had to do a little bit of a puzzle to get the horn to work in this car, to honk the horn I assume, to get Hobbs to come out so we can talk to him. Or break into his house or do something else. I'm not even sure exactly what we're gonna... how this conversation's gonna go, but I think I'm supposed to honk the horn.
I figured that should get Hobbs' attention.
Maybe, maybe not.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Let's just ask him about all the unimportant things before we get to the regular things.
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs, but... Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
So, I went with the nail clippers and it didn't work.
I decided to give it another blast.
For crying out loud,
So
will
this
you leave
bird
my van alone?
flies
Sorry,
away.
Just need a quick word, Mr. Hobbs.
Yeah, this is what I expect. So I don't think there's gonna be any real, like, big conversation here. So let's see. Let's go with questions.
Mr. Hobbs, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Yes, you will answer a few questions?
Yes, I do mind. Clear?
Not really.
Good. Now get lost.
This Hobbs guy doesn't exactly like visitors.
There must be some angle we can use to talk our way inside.
So I imagine it's the modeling agency item that we need to do.
I decided to give it another blast.
This is gonna be a little annoying, frankly, just to even do the default
You two
lines
again.
of conversation.
What is it this time?
Let alone all of these other things. So,
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs, but
nope.
this is crazy. We need to get in there and take a look around.
We need a good cover story.
I'd already jerry-rigged the horn. I had no other reason to rummage around under the hood.
I clicked on the wrong thing. This is a bad way to design this. He needs
I decided to give it another
to
blast.
instead stonewall us and just like, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna answer
What
that.
now?
But the honking the horn, having him come out, is redundant.
Hello there. We'd like to discuss some restoration work with you.
Then make an appointment. I'm busy.
This is crazy. We need to get in there and take a look around.
We need a good cover story.
Oh, there is something we can do with the drain pipe. Is that the hint? We do something with the drain pipe to
Climbing
cover
drain
him?
pipes was something I preferred to avoid. The drain pipe was more rust than iron.
So do I have anything in particular that I would want to use on the
That
drain pipe?
wasn't worth trying.
Do we talk to Nico?
Nico?
What's up?
So, Hobbs doesn't want to see us.
Yes.
It's like Detroit round here, and it's going to be dark soon. Shall we head back?
No! We need to convince Hobbs to let us in.
Well, that was pointless, too. You can do something with the drain pipe, I just have no clue what it is.
I decided to give it another blast.
Let's see, I'm over the drain pipe right now.
What now?
Let's try the modeling.
Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up.
Which then kind of just makes the drain pipe element not really make it much sense. Now,
Climbing drain pipes was something I preferred to avoid. Unless I had a great reason to do so.
let's just go through the door. Now, you could have a funny scene here where George is forced to strip for him. That doesn't really seem like their style,
Mr.
though.
Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best belly pock floozy.
I wouldn't terribly...
Perfect. Just hold it there. Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio.
It wouldn't be too terrible if they both had to get undressed and then that led to maybe finally the beginning of a relationship. It would be a funny story to tell their potential grandchildren. We realized we liked each other when we were naked in front of a painter. Alright, so we have bottles.
A variety of liquor bottles, all empty.
Let's see, whiskey glass. Can we knock him out or poison him?
Hey, I'm still drinking that.
So unless I was going to put a coin or whiskey or a cockroach in it, I don't know what else.
Hi, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to take a look at some of your pictures. You're very good.
I know, and that portfolio is private. I'm not paying you to gawp around my studio. Get your blooming clothes off.
Sorry.
Stool, fuse box. Stool under the fuse box.
I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring.
Let's see.
I didn't need to sit. It was time for action.
Thermostat.
Hey! Leave that dial alone. The heating gobbles up all the power and the circuits can't take it.
Sorry. I turned the thermostat down again.
So we kind of know what's going on. We have a lift button and a stereo. And apparently we can do something with the stereo.
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years.
So
the stereo was switched off. Adjusting the volume wasn't going to make any difference.
So do we turn it on and then get it to use a bunch of power?
I turned the volume up a few notches. I turned the volume down again. I turned the volume up a few notches. Hobbs seemed to have a thing for 70s psychedelic jams.
It seems like the game creators have a thing for it too. Let's see. Let's go hit the lift button. I assume I'm trying to blow the fuse, so he has to stand on the stool and then change the fuse, and then maybe he electrocuted himself or kicked the stool out from under him.
Hey, stop meddling with that. The power's ropey enough as it is.
Blowing the power would certainly have distracted Hobbs, but the elevator alone wasn't going to trip the whole system.
So will this do it?
Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
It was a half-full glass of whiskey.
Let's give him some more whiskey.
How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
What if I do?
So it doesn't seem like there's much else I can do here unless I can go through the warehouse door or the balcony door.
I had no need to walk out on the balcony.
That's funny, this says warehouse door in that balcony door. I don't have anything.
It was locked. I wondered what was behind the door.
And the elevator just kind of brings it up to this. Let's grab the negligee.
I didn't want to play around with the negligee. Those days are long gone. But I wondered who it did belong to. A gaudy pink negligee. Huh. It didn't seem like Hobbs's style. Nico played the part of Hobbs's muse perfectly. I have to admit, I felt a twinge of jealousy.
So
it was a full glass of whiskey.
Full glass of whiskey. And we don't have anything else unless we're going to throw a match in it and start a fire. So I think we have to go back this way. Behind the screen. Maybe there's something actually behind the screen that I can interact with or see.
My, if it isn't George Stobbart.
Lady Piermont. Oh my. You're
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself en pelotas. Now, George, don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
So Lady Piermont showed up in 3 of these games. Well,
smothered.
2, I think, now.
George, darling,
And then her daughter showed up in 1.
Oi, what are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was larger than life in every way.
So I am happy that she didn't walk out naked. I'm kind of happy he didn't walk out naked either. Let's give him more whiskey. And then let's talk to Lady Piermont and see if we can convince her to either stand on the
How
lift.
about another whiskey?
Up.
What if I do?
Just keep getting him drunk. So let's go talk to Lady Piermont. See if she either will adjust the thermostat or stand on the lift.
Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heating out in here.
I'll see what I can do.
Alright. Doesn't seem like you can actually stand on the lift. So maybe she'll yell at him now that I turn the heating on?
Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
So he's distracted now, but I
In
can't
which
click on
case,
the button.
I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then, but be careful. The power in here is temperamental.
I turned the thermostat up as far as it would go. I wondered if the suspicious wiring could be used to my advantage. It was an empty whiskey glass.
Let's just keep pouring him whiskey.
How about another whiskey? That's smashing. Far away.
Again, we're having music play in the background that's rather repetitive. And not that good. And, well, at least not interesting to me. I really would prefer to just hear some standard video game background music.
Oh, you. Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
The elevator on its own wasn't going to blow the power. It was a shaky old elevator that would once have lifted goods between the floors.
So what's the other thing that we could use more power from? Let's see.
Oh, you. Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
The elevator...
Is the volume not at the maximum? Like a stereo like this could take a decent amount of wattage. Maybe 180.
I turned the volume down. I turned the volume up a few notches.
Is there something else we could do? Like, unless there was something we're supposed to do with it that I don't recognize.
Burns, Dick, Graham. Hobbs left his little church heavy.
Let's talk to Lady Piermont again.
A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George, I'm all ears. How can I help?
Let's see. Let's just go through all of everything.
I didn't think Piermont would have anything to say about it.
Very default
How
response.
about a shot of this, Lady Piermont?
Oh, no, dear. I don't touch the stuff. Reminds me of husband number 5. Or was it 6? Terrible bore, anyway. I'm strictly a gin girl. Ice and a slice and a whiff of tonic.
What do you think of this, Lady Piermont?
Not much, Georgie. Not much.
What do you think of this, Lady Piermont?
Not much, Georgie. Not
Same
much.
default response back to back. Some of these items, if they just moved around a little bit, would prevent that from happening.
What do you think of this, Lady Piermont?
Not much, Georgie. Not much.
What do you think of this, Lady Piermont?
Not much,
You
Georgie.
kind of need
Not
to hear
much.
the responses of what people say, and
Could I
it's not
tempt you with a
happening
cookie, Lady
when the
Piermont?
audio's playing.
You could tempt me with many things, George. But a half-eaten rich tea is not one of them.
She wouldn't want to see it. What do you think of this, Lady Piermont?
Not much, Georgie. Not much.
Yeah, she has like no response for almost everything.
Would you like a sniff of this?
I'd rather not. Gives me 70s flashbacks.
What do you think of this, Lady Piermont?
Not much, Georgie. Not much.
So the vast majority of all your inventory, and we're almost full on slots with these conversation things. Vast majority of them, she had no response at all. So she, as a character, almost feels like a stretch goal. Something just added.
So what have you been up to since our last encounter, Lady Piermont?
What was our last
Charity
encounter?
work, dear boy.
Oh, any particular kind?
Young men, George. So many have lost their way. I try to guide them best I can.
I'm sure she does.
Can you keep a secret, Lady Piermont?
I am the very soul of discretion, as you know.
You see that portfolio by Hobbs's table? We need to take a peek inside.
Be still, my beating heart. Just give me the nod and I'm putty in your hands.
How did you come to be working with Mr. Hobbs?
Wheresoever a bohemian needs a helping hand, George, mine is always at the ready. And what better way to help than to expose one's flesh to the sensuous brushstrokes of such a talent?
There seems to be a repeating theme in this game too, of nude art.
Do you know anything about a stolen painting called La Malédiction?
Oh, is this another of your adventures, George? How delicious. My
Like,
heart's a tremor, George. Do you think Wilf is mixed up with this?
Maybe, but I need you to act normally until we're sure.
Mum's the word, Georgie.
I guess maybe in some tiny stretch of a way, this reoccurring theme of nude art and most of the nude models and paintings being of young, beautiful people might play a part in the story if the story is going the way it might be going with the Ouroboros, but I don't know. And frankly, I fear I'm spoiling things even saying that much. And the achievements on Steam kind of spoiled some stuff for me too, so I think I have a thought on where this is going to end up. Anyways, we need her on the lift.
Lady Piermont, we need your help.
How thrilling! What do you need? Subterfuge? Pleasure domain?
Actually, I just need you to step on that lift behind you.
Oh, but of course. Is this good, George, darling?
It would be really nice if this ended in a wedding with George and Nico. It would be undeserved, but it'd be alright if they said many years later and then we saw Nico and George get married, finally realized that they should always be together and stop meeting up with each other and then leaving. And there goes the fuse. And let's hit the stool while he's there. Come on, grab that stool out from under him.
I didn't need to sit. It was time for action. I didn't need to sit. It was time for action.
So I missed something. Do I put the whiskey on the stool?
Nope. I needed to try something else.
Do I... See, if this was a termite, that would make more sense.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, the toilet on the stool to make it
That
slick.
was never gonna work.
Let's see.
A well-worn stool sat in the corner. It was a full glass of whiskey.
He's at a full glass of whiskey.
The fuse box was emitting a sinister buzzing sound.
Am I supposed to electrocute him?
Years ago.
Paperclip with the fuse
That
box.
wouldn't make any sense.
A ground with the stool.
That wouldn't have worked.
Alright, so we're gonna try everything on the stool.
That wouldn't work.
As ridiculous as it might be.
That wasn't worth trying. That wouldn't have worked. That was never gonna happen. That was almost a great idea. Almost. I needed a better idea.
Yeah, I do. I definitely need a better idea.
That wouldn't work. I didn't need to sit. It was time for action.
Let's see. I guess we have to hint. Hobbs is drunk. How can I use this to my advantage? Being drunk will slow him down, giving you a window of opportunity. Interact with the lift button again, and while Hobbs is fiddling with the fuse box, interact with the portfolio to look inside. Okay. So it has nothing to do with the stool at all, which makes this a terrible item to be in this puzzle, because it's misleading.
Now was my chance.
So we run this way and look in the portfolio.
It was one of Hobbs' sketches.
It's got the birthmark of that girl. Again. Next page. Next page.
Impressionist sketches. Well, it wasn't La Malediccio, but it did appear to be a study for an element of the painting, the Ouroboros. There was something different about the image in the center. I figured the sketch might come in handy, so I took it.
What the heck are you doing with those? They're private papers. Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were a private dick, George.
So, you're not models?
No, Mr. Hobbs.
Well, you can't be a copper. You're not stupid enough. So what the blazes are you doing in my studio?
We're investigating the theft of a painting, La Malediccio, by the Spanish artist El Serpent. One of these sketches is a study of that painting.
Well, sure. Well, what's that got to do with that? I'm a restorer, and I restored it. I've got naught to do with what happened after that painting left this studio. How was I to know it was going to get Henri killed?
Hang on a second. How do you know Henri's dead?
Look, He and I went back a long way. The Lézard Bleu was on the ropes, so I got the painting into his exhibition. Nothing like this was supposed to happen.
So let's go hard this time.
But something did happen, Hobbs. Your friend lost his life.
Particularly since we're playing as George.
I'll help you however I can, but this mess is way above my pay grade. What do you want to know?
What do I want to know? Well, I actually want to show them all of this stuff. And we've gone another 30 minutes. So I can't save to see how far we've gone. We'll check that out, I guess, at some point next recording. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.